Hey guys, welcome back to another lovely little speed build for you guys, and today you can tell by the title obviously what I'm going to do. It is going to be a village, well not really a village, but like an inner centralized area in the city that doesn't really rely on roads, so it doesn't really have cars going everywhere. Now to actually do this, you still technically need a road connection to all of the buildings, so there is still going to be roads, but I'm going to basically hide them. So all of the inner areas of this little, let's just call this a whole estate because I'm building it all together. So the inner areas of the estate will be open areas that I will convert into that looks like an older style village, but it still has like a more modern style view. So these little roads here that I'm drawing now are actually the roads that you have to use to connect all of the buildings to. So all of the buildings technically, yeah, they do connect, but all on the other side of the building is where everything else is going to be. So everything connected to the road is purely for just connection. So everything on the other side is going to be like open green space, there's going to be cafes, there's going to be pathways, trees, playgrounds, basically everything you will need. And so this whole area here, I really wanted to do it because I had left for so long. And I thought, what a great opportunity to do this and create like a different style downtown, because downtowns are always like really high buildings, so why not do something that's really open, something just a little bit different. So this whole area, it's going to be a mixture of residential like the ones that I just put there. There's going to be some commercial and some offices as well. Now there's also a high school there already, which you can't really see, but it's up in the top right hand corner. It's the brown building. I also put in a elementary school, so that's good. And I feel like they will have pretty much everything that they need nearby, and since the public transport hub is literally like a block away, they can easily just walk up there. They don't even need to have a car if they live here, to be honest, because they're right in the middle of the city. They can literally just walk anywhere. It's very centralized, and it's a really great place just to put this type of style. Now I know some of you are going to be like, hey, you tricked us, like it's going to be clickbait, blah blah. Well, not really, because everyone knows that in the game you still have to have some kind of road connection for like the different services to get to the building. When I say services, like the ambulance, the dump truck, the police, things like that. So without an actual road connection, it's not going to function. So I wanted this whole area to be actually functioning. So I chose these really small 2-lane roads. They're very small. Now I could have made them into like the pedestrian type roads, but I didn't really want it to look like that is for pedestrians. So I really wanted to show you that the little roads, they're actually just for roads, and then everywhere else is just for pedestrians. And this is a speed build. I know you guys are probably like, oh, another speed build, really? But this one, I feel like it's a lot of detailing, a lot of looking for different buildings and things like that, so I couldn't be bothered to go through the whole thing. And I actually did play around with it off camera first to make sure that it's actually going to work. It's actually, I actually have enough props and things like that to make it look good, enough buildings and things like that. So yeah, I hope you guys really enjoy this video, because I think it's something different that you don't really see a lot of people make. Like, I don't think I've seen anyone really do it like this before. And the whole different types of buildings in this area, they're a real mixture, let's put it that way. So we have these ones here that I'm putting in. They are actually Dutch, so they just came out on the workshop not too long ago. Now there's some, I don't know where, some other European old style buildings, and then we have like some Russian style apartment buildings, and what else is there? I can't remember, but you'll probably see them. But there's a whole mixture of different things in there. There's going to be lots of little shops everywhere, and you can see that I'm turning them around because the road connection for the shops is actually the side that I want to present to the whole inner area of this whole little estate type building. And so it's, even though the connection, I've spun it around on the building, it still actually works. So every now and then I noticed there was a car that would like, they're just like, okay, I'm gonna go in a straight line and hover across the map, and then they slowly end up to a building that I've rotated. So I think you guys have noticed that before as well. Like every now and then there's a car that's just like, okay, I'm just gonna hover along really slowly and get to my destination, gonna hover through buildings, not really gonna care about anyone else, and I'm just gonna do me. I think you guys first picked it up on the zoo video and everyone's like, is that Harry Potter? is he flying around in his car because it was like a blue car, whatever his car is. So anyway, it's not a big deal, right? So there's a few larger buildings in there. They're just the larger residential, just to give a bit of variety. And then these little guys here, I can't remember if they are Dutch or from Belgium, but they're definitely a European style building. And then that little building I put on the corner there is actually a flower shop. I thought that was really cool because if you zoom in on it, it has little flower stalls and things like that, which really makes the whole area look a lot nicer. And you can see just then I was really zooming through all of the buildings trying to find the building that you want, and sometimes it takes so long. And also, just something off topic, I'm actually going to start doing city reviews again. So I did one for Amsterdam just to see how it went, and I would say that you guys really enjoyed that. The view amount was really unexpected. It's like over 130,000. Like, oh my god, that's really good. So I'm going to start doing that again because I actually really love doing all of that research and like putting it together and like showing you guys what I found. I think it's pretty cool. So the next one, I'm not going to tell you where it is. I'm just going to tell you that it's in Asia. That's all, and it is a really big city, and that's all I'm going to say. Now, it'll be out probably before the end of the month, and I am looking forward to it, and it's going to be very similar to the same type of video format that I did for Amsterdam, but you're also going to see a little bit more of me in it as well, so get ready to see my very beautiful face, right? Okay, back to this video. So I've basically filled in at this point all of the buildings that I want to do, and you can start to see the shape that it's taking. So there's little green spaces in between. Now, instead of just doing pathways and a lot of trees, I actually go a little bit beyond that. So I try to put in just a little bit more of detail. And I don't know if it turned out how I exactly envisioned it to be, but then I was thinking, like, what did I even think I wanted it to look like? And then so I'm like, I guess it did turn out how I wanted it. But yeah, I'm still happy with it because when you zoom out, when you look at it at the end, it looks so real. It looks so in depth, and like I put in people generators as well, which encourages a lot of people to come along to the area and makes the area look really much more alive. So naturally, before I added in the people generator, there was actually a lot of people coming in already because like there's shops, so there's offices and things like that, and there's residential, so they're all going to be in the area mixing through. But I wanted more. I wanted the area to seem a lot more lively. So there's going to be, it's mostly going to be filled in with like the ground tiles, like the pebble tiles, and like seating areas and things like that. But I did leave some little bits of green space for some kids to play on the playground. Then some other open space, just like if they want just green space for whatever they want to do. Maybe that'd be a festival or just chilling on the grass. So I really think about all of this. And then some of the only thing that I have, if this was realistic, I don't know if you would do the streets that small. To me, that is the only unrealistic thing, but I think I only did that for the sake of the game to actually give the buildings a connection. Now, I could have just connected the buildings to a larger road and then made one large big green space in the middle, but I didn't want to do one just big green space because I wanted to make it into a more specific, just a bit of an unusual shape. So you can see how it's all turning out now. Like there's different little alleyways going here and there, and you'll see towards the end that this area here is the main area of, I guess you'd call it a plaza, but it's not really the shape of a plaza, but it is the main central area. There's going to be a lot of seats there. You can see you're putting in the ground tiles. That building right there is a shop, so that's going to encourage a lot of people. And so yeah, I didn't want to do just one large big square shape because to me that's boring and it's hard to fill in as well. So I made it really small, but even though it does look small if you zoom out, when you zoom in at the end, I go to first person mode, it doesn't look too bad. It looks pretty, it looks like the right size in my opinion. So even though you might be thinking like, oh, there's so many little alleyways and things like that, it's so compact. But if you look at European old style cities, which is a video coming soon by the way, if you look at them, a lot of the streets are very narrow. They have little plaza areas and then little shops and things like that. So I was trying to replicate that, but in a more modern way, a modern twist. So what I'm doing now is just finishing up with a lot of detailing, And it actually took a while because I had to find a lot of different trees, plants, and tables, and then I put in a lot of little food trucks as well, just to make it look like there's shops for them to eat at. And yeah, there's a lot of different coloration, a lot of different variety of colors for this whole area. There's a good variety of buildings, so it doesn't look very stale as just one type of building. And I think it turns out really good, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this type of stuff, because I want to do more types of things like this. Something that's not just like the ordinary build, let's just build some blocks and then just throw on some buildings, but I wanted to do something a little bit different. And this is one of the playground areas, so I put that green, what would you call that, that green barrier fence thing right there, just as like a barrier between the houses and then the playground as well. And then I put in some vegetation just to like block out, because like, I don't know, maybe you don't want to look out and see kids being loud right there, so you want some trees to try to kind of like block the sound and just make it seem a little bit more peaceful. And yeah, so I think, oh yeah, and then in the playground I add in the field resource type. So you have the ground painter, which is like the cement, the gravel. I put in the field, F-I-E-L-D, in case you can't understand. Field, like, how do I explain it? Like a field of something that is growing. So it's just because I wanted to have a different bit of a color underneath the playground, because if you look at playgrounds, a lot of the time they'll just have like, I don't know, sand or like some kind of light, like soft gravel or something like that. So I wanted to do it just a little bit different. And so yeah, I think I'll just give you guys a bit of a look at what else I'm going to do, and then we shall skip to the end where I go through the whole area in a bit of a shaky, I'm doing air quotes, very, very shaky first person camera tour. So get ready for that, brace yourself. So everyone, here we have it. Doesn't it look good? It looks like a lot is going on in this area. It's very colorful. There's a lot of vegetation. So this area here is the main plaza area, doing air quotes when I say plaza. So there's a lot of seating areas, and it really just connects up. It really is the hub of the whole area. It connects up all of the different areas, and it seems to be like really accessible by everyone else. And I left a big green gap that leads directly to the transport hub. There's little walkways that connect basically all areas of the estate as well, so they can really just walk whichever way they want, and there's a lot of freedom. So it's not like I'm dictating that they have to exit the area here or they have to enter the area here. So there's a lot of freedom where they want to go. There's no cars going through the whole area, so that should create a really relaxed vibe if this was realistic, but it's not. So, but I'm just saying anyway. And so yeah, that's the high school right there on the corner, and I'm going into first person mode, so bear with me because it is like when I press go forward, it really just jumps forward. It's like, oh my god, it's jumping forward. But this is the first little alleyway. It's kind of like, oh, don't want to walk there at night time, but then you come around here and it looks good, right? So you have this little area which is like a little eating area with all of the residential areas that look over the area, and then you have this right here which is actually one of the parks in game, which actually fit really nicely in the area. And I love the architecture of those buildings. I think they're the just Netherlands type buildings. I don't know what city. And then so we come around here. This is just a bit of a green open space for them. It is a little dark because of the shadow, but that's not really a big deal. So we got some open space there. The gazebo, is that called a gazebo? So they can sit there, relax. They got the nice flowers, looks pretty cool. The playground, and you can see there's a nice variety of the buildings right there. And then you come around here, which is the main area, and then there's a random car. Like I said, the car is just like, okay, I'm gonna go this way now. I'm just gonna hover straight forward through the building. So let's go. So this is the main area. I think it looks really, really cool, and I think it looks good for the lack of detail that I put in to my builds in general. Like, I don't want to do too much detail because it makes my game lag. So I'm just using pretty much everything in game except for the food trucks. So you can see that I put in a cafe there, and then that green space that I just hovered over is basically the one that they would probably use if they're going to the not the industrial area, the public transport hub. I should put in a bridge that goes over the main road up there, just to make it a little bit more easier, because this whole area is a very pedestrian friendly area. And then just some more open green space. So green space is always nice to have. You got some seating areas in here, some vegetation, so that should be a nice peaceful area. And then you come around here to whatever style these buildings are, and if we get through the building, oh, where are we going? What happened? There we go. I actually quite like that little green space in there, the flowers and things like that. So I think there's 2 playgrounds, little food areas plopped throughout the whole area, and I think it's really good. I feel proud of how it's turned out. I just like it because I don't really do stuff like this, do I? It's something different. So we're back into the main area, and I just like it. So let me know, guys, what do you think of this whole area? What do you think of this type of build? And you can't tell me this is unrealistic, because it's very, very common in like old European style city downtown areas where they ban cars in the inner area. So yeah, I think I'd live there. It's pretty cool, right? So at least they still have the road access. So if there is any type of service vehicle that needs to get them to get to them, which there will be, of course, there will be. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll be back very soon with another video. But like always, don't forget to leave a comment what you think, and then other suggestions for other videos, and then whatever else you want to say. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye guys.